Why did you leave? Why aren't you working at Hanford now?
Why did I leave? I went out on short-term disability in June of '99, and the insurance, it took them 3 months before they approved my short-term disability, and I was paid for 3 months of short-term disability, and then they quit paying. I couldn't survive without a check. I tried to go back to work. My medical problems just got worse, so I finally took an early retirement because of my medical problems. But it was all due to the Cigna Insurance and Florida Annual not paying my disability, short-term disability, after they approved me they approved me for 6 months, but they paid me for 3. I just, I was just fed up with it, with all the things that they were, they're basically putting people in jeopardy. And I know that they don't see it that way, but they actually are putting a lot of people in jeopardy.
Are your health problems related to your employment?
I think so. Yeah, in 1986, whenever PRF was running, one of the product pumps went out. Of course, during production days, the emphasis is keep the process running. So they had a pipe fitter come in and bolt the pump. The operators sealed it out. I was an operator at the time. I took the pump in the lard can, went down to first floor to NDA it, non-destructive analysis, to see what the plutonium content was in the pump. Set the pump up on this turntable, okay, and it rotates. The counter, the NDA equipment moves up and down, goes down, and then it comes back up as this is turning to count what's in the plutonium that's in the pump. Well, as this starts turning, I'm at the computer keying in things that need to be keyed in. And out of the corner of my eye, I see the lard can falling. And I jump up and I grab it and I set it back up on the turntable. Finishes the count. Then myself and I carried it up to second floor. There's a maintenance glove box on second floor. It needed to be sealed in there so the maintenance people could do the work on the pump. So I get up to second floor, myself and another operator take the lid off of the lard can, take a poppy probe and survey the top of the package that the pump is in, and it was fine. And I reached down inside of the lard can and picked up the pump. These pumps weigh 65 to 70 pounds, okay? I picked up the pump, reached inside of the port bag, set it down, come back out, and the cam is going off. And I see this little tiny spot on my coverall. Well, it was pure plutonium nitrate. I wound up with 500,000 dpm on my arm. And they scrubbed and scrubbed on my arm for several hours. And they told me it was clean, go home. Well, we were working graveyard. I came back in the next night, took the poppy probe to my arm. It's reading like 10,000. So I was in the habit of sleeping on my side all the time. So I took the poppy probe to my side, and my side was hot. So then, I went down to the RCT office and I told him, I says, hey, my arm is reading 10,000. So they sent me home. Now this is unheard of, totally unheard of. They sent me home with a probe so I could survey my things at home. I surveyed my sheets and they had a little autumn but yeah, they used to call me Silkwood. But yeah, I think my medical problems, it was like 2 years, 2 years, no, 4 years. 2 to 4 years after that I started having medical problems. Started problems with arrhythmia problems of my heart, and then, thyroid problems, diabetes. You name it, I've got it. But I really feel that the majority of it, 99.75% of it, is stemming from that. Uncontrolled high blood pressure, medications don't work. They work for a little while and then they quit working. But yeah, I blame it on to my exposures. 3 months after that, I got stabbed working in a glove box. This glove box was part of the RMC line process. It was called the off-gas scrubber system. And we used Ann as part of that process. And there was a lot of Ann crystals in the bottom of this glove box. Well, I was one of the ones that always took a lot of dose, and they wanted me to go in and clean up that glove box because it was a low dose rate area and my dose was getting pretty high. So I went in there and started cleaning up the glove box, and I had to put all these crystals into 4-gallon poly bottles. So I was just scooping them up and putting them in the poly bottle. Got it pretty well cleaned up, and I had a rag in the glove box, and I started swiping the bottom of the floor of the glove box. Well, I felt this prick, and I went, oh no. So I turned my hand up, and here is a wrench. I see this wrench, and the other end of the wrench is nothing but a needle. Yeah, the glove boxes were so corrosive, it takes carbon steel tools and turns them into extremely sharp instruments. So we had a squawk box right behind me, and I reached behind me and I called my supervisor. Says, I think you need to get a rad tech down here. So I eased my finger out of the end of that glove that was pierced and waited for the RCT to come in. And then he surveyed my hand as I pulled it out. Because you're taught, anytime something happens, you don't want to pull your hand out because you're going to bring everything out with you. So you stay cool, calm, and collected until somebody's there that can help you get out. But they took me down and they did a count on my finger, and basically I got the DTPA injection out at work, which takes all the heavy metals out of your body, which is supposed to take care of the plutonium in your body too that you take in. But I think, yeah, both of those incidents, I think, is what has caused a lot of my medical problems. Yes.
It's mind-boggling to me that even after that first one, this is 1986, is that correct?
Uh-huh.
just after that first accident that you would go back working there after. I mean, did you feel?
Oh, well, you were under the impression that, whenever they cleaned you up, you were fine. Whenever you got this DTPA injection, it would clean all of this stuff out of your system. Well, it wasn't until the early 90s that you were allowed to take 3 RIM a year, okay? The early 90s, all these new operators that they were hiring, they were being told you can only take 500 MR a year. And that's when I went, whoa, here they let us take 3 RIM, and now they're telling these new folks they can only take 500. What's up with this picture? And that's whenever I started doing a little reading and finding out that, that stuff doesn't leave your body. I mean, it's there. Plutonium, the half-life for that is something like 24,000 years. And I've got 3 RIM to the bone, which is, well, the doctor that I went and saw in Pasco that's doing the physicals for the ex-Hanford workers. He told me, he says, that's just nothing. You didn't get anything. Don't be concerned about it. So I thought, okay. And any other doctor you go to, I mean, they look at you like you're out there in La La Land. Because they don't.
To question this?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Come on, you can eat it.
Yeah, I mean, they just don't know. And if you even bring it up to them about you having plutonium in your body, they just, so? Well, don't you think that's part of my medical problems? Nah, can't be. But the more and more you read about it, the more you come to realize that, yeah, that's what's going on, is that stuff just plays havoc with your body.